Radical Metal viewers. Welcome to part 2 of Where Strides the Behemoth, Radical Metal's first attempt at a mini documentary covering Mastodon's secret show, disguising as Big Hairy Elephant at the Star Community Bar in Little Five Points, Atlanta, Georgia, July 2024. This time you're going to hear more from the other fans besides myself. And you'll hear from Steve McLaughlin from Palaces on what it was like to be asked to open for Mastodon. Little surprise, I got a special guest here. It's the pickled version of Bill Kelleher himself, who made some time in his schedule to come promote this movie. Thanks so much, Bill. Bill? I think he's a little mad because I was spending too much time with Diller Be Dilled earlier. Anyway, I'm sure he hopes you enjoy the show soon. More from him in a little bit. Have a great time and talk to you at the end of the video.
Steve McLaughlin from the band Palaces.
That's the one.
The guys that played the same night as Big Hairy Elephant, aka Mastodon. What I want to do is just tell me your highlights from that night and kind of give me a breakdown. Maybe start when you got asked to play, and then just highlights from the night, etc. But my highlight, and this is true, I just interviewed John. He said the same thing. Our number one highlight was meeting you guys and hearing you play.
That's too much. Y'all need to back up for a second. That's too much.
I mean, it was just good vibes, I ran into JB and Eric outside going in, and then Bill walks in and hung out with him for a minute. But just JB and Eric were so easy and fun to talk to, and JB recognized me from the guitar giveaway, so that was like very flattering to be recognized by anybody in a town that wasn't mine. And then going inside, hanging by the merch table with you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I really loved our hang too. I mean, you and JB were the guys I hung out with the most, and John and Rick, obviously. Rick I went there with, and then John, meeting him just because he was hanging out too.
I think Rick was steering clear. He wanted to come say hi, but he was steering clear from our last drinking session. He got a little too wound up first night we were hanging out. And I can put it together pretty well, but they got these lemon drop something or the other drinks over there at the Star Bar, and oh man, you get 3 of them in you, and next thing you know, you're waking up on the floor downstairs.
Well, tell me your version of how that all came together for you guys. I mean, JB shared the story as well, but what is your remembrance of how you guys got asked, and then and what were some of your highlights that night? Besides,
so JB told you, he already told you that Bill is kind of engineering, producing the new record. So I'm down there in his little studio in his basement. We're recording one of the new songs. I don't remember which one it was. And he kind of just turns to me and he says, can I ask you something? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. I was like, dude, I don't talk about nothing to nobody with nothing until obviously I'm allowed to. And once we're allowed to, then obviously it's a free game. But he goes, would you guys like to open up for Mastodon for the show? And I was like, no, yes. What are you talking about, dude? I was like, absolutely. Thank you. No, it was a complete honor, and it was a cool secret to hold on to for I don't know, 2 weeks prior to any form of announcement whatsoever. So everybody had known about it pretty well, and it started kind of creeping around town a little bit more. I'd go over to the Star Bar and hear a couple guys start whispering about it, and then I'd have to not talk about it, even with some of them, because I'll end up saying something stupid, and they're like, "Oh, this guy over here, he knows something." So, leading up, we got the set list put together. Wanted to keep it right and tight, so we rehearsed the heck out of those songs, specifically those. I think we got 3 new ones for the new record that we played, that we opened with. I think, no, we opened with Trainwreck, and that's on Hellas Chasma. But then we did two or 3 new ones in the middle of the set. So that was pretty cool for people. Nobody realized it. Nobody knew it. But we were playing stuff that's going to be on the record live.
Yeah, that Bill's producing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't really know how to feel about it. It's kind of, I think it's, I had somebody ask me one time, they were like, "What was that like opening that show?" And I said, it's still kind of like growing on me. I think because we are working on the new record with Bill and stuff, so there was like that thing that came after. So it was like opening that show, everybody super grateful. I was beyond humbled. It's just crazy to me when I hear that people dig it, that people are digging what we're doing is just blowing my mind. Whatever we were doing, something that we're doing is right, and I don't know what it is, and I don't want to jinx anything. So I've actually been avoiding interviews. So when you asked me, I was just kind of like, sure, why not? Let's go.
Did I catch you in a moment of weakness and I didn't give you time to think?
Everybody feeling all right? Okay.
I don't think we played the Star Bar in 20 years.
You guys are always home. You're our home. You guys have been great our whole fucking career, so forever and ever. You guys are amazing, always have been. Thank you, thank you.
We have Mr. Rick. Hey, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Ammerman or Amerman?
Hammerman.
Ammerman.
Like hammer without the H. That's what I used to always say.
Rick, as you know, Mr. Generosity hit me up out of nowhere, and I was kind of tracking the show and didn't think much about it because I was like, well, I can't go. Busy with work and everything. But you pinged me and said, hey, I got an extra ticket.
I was in Vegas, and you're a big Raiders fan, and I'm a big Broncos fan. I had to go by the stadium and flip it off. So I had you on my mind already from that, and that was like right at the same time that I got the tickets, and I was like, well, who should I offer this ticket to? I just flipped off my boy Jesse's favorite football team stadium, so maybe I'll offer it to him.
Break down, I guess, how you heard about the show, getting tickets, and I don't know. Tell me what led up to you attending.
I think it was like the 4th of July. I was at a cookout at my dad's house, and I think I was just on the Star Bar website looking for what shows are coming up, and I saw a Palace's show, and I'm like, I think I'm going to try to go to that. And then it was like within 24 hours or something like that, where it just started spreading on Facebook and stuff that that Mastodon was going to be there. I was already going to go, and then I was like, well, Mastodon's going, so now I'm definitely going, because it's like a friend's band plus like the band, like my favorite band. So I'm going. I bought two extra tickets. I was like, I'm sure somebody I know in the Mastodon family is going to want to go, so I'll have them. If a buddy wants to go, I'll give it to them. If somebody in the Mastodon Mayhem group or whatever wants to go, I'll give it to them. So I think Kelly Hester, one of his friends, maybe wanted one of them, and then you were the other one.
I feel like even people that maybe knew the band personally couldn't even get tickets because it was just sold out. So tell me about your night, man. I mean, besides hanging with a cool dude like me.
Yes.
how
So hanging out with you and your buddy and his girlfriend, we met up at the Vortex, the hamburger place across the street. I usually stop there if I'm in town, like in Little 5 Points. I'll go to the Vortex first if I can. But yeah, had a good burger over there. Went across the street, met up with the Palaces dudes, Steven and Jonathan. Man, cool dudes. I think me and you were outside in front of the building, and then Bill Culliher walks by. We're not like tight friends or anything, but he knows me because he's seen me at shows and stuff and actually knows my name. So somebody walks by me and then turns around and says, "Hey, Rick." And I'm like, "What?" And I look up and it's Bill Kelleher. It just trips me out, because he has such a good memory. I've talked to him, 4 or 5 times probably, and got to hang out with him backstage once or twice. But for him to remember me is just, so, it's kind of a trip. Like you've got one of your metal icon guitar players that you see on TV and listen to their music all the time and stuff, and the fact that they walk by you on the street and say hi to you and know your name, kind of one of those mind-blowing kind of things.
What were some of the highlights for you that night?
Just being in the Star Bar and seeing all the colorful lights and stuff on the stage. It's such an iconic place now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do go there, probably once every 6 months or so. I go to Little 5 Points and check out a band or something. Now when I go in there, I'm going to see the little Star Bar lit up sign and all the lights and be like, I saw Mastodon play on that little tiny stage. The whole time I was watching the show, I'm like kind of looking around like, I've been to a bunch of Mastodon shows, but that's one that, that not many people are going to be able to say, yeah, I was there.
So, John, I have a question for you.
What's up?
You want to be friends?
Yeah, man. I think we already are.
Sweet, new friend. Yeah, I thought so too. But something about our shirts. Just wanted to make it official.
I made quite a few fast friends at that show, basically. Yourself,
Yeah.
JB, a couple other guys. Actually, I also saw the show with an old buddy of mine from high school who I haven't seen since high school. He just happened to be there at the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you didn't you were like me, meeting JB for the first time, and
I met JB for the first time, and Steve as well. And then I'd already known Rick from literally just a month prior when Fiend Without a Face played here at Little 5 Points.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it was funny. They were like, "Oh, we're all going to the Star Bar afterwards. You want to come?" I was like, "No, I'll go to the Star Bar some other time." And well, I sure did.
Walk me through this, your experience that night, your experience getting a ticket, and then your highlights and anything else you want to share.
I was just terminally online, as we all are these days, and I saw a few of the guys in the band posted this big hairy elephant thing at the Star Bar flyer. Immediately I knew that's a secret show, like I'm like, big hairy elephant, what could that mean? So I bought tickets, extremely glad I did, because by the next morning they were sold out.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, actually. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize they were sold out in one day. That's amazing.
Yeah. Sold out by the next morning. So I was really glad, like I was saying, terminally online, that I was just in Mastodon Mayhem that night and saw the post or wherever, or maybe it was like one of the guys' Instagrams. I don't know. But either way, I happened to catch it across social media, and then went to the Starbar site, bought tickets, and then flash forward to the day of the show. I pull up to the parking lot. I immediately go to the merch table and see Kelly's wife, Michelle, and buy myself a set of pickles, because you have to have the Mastodon pickles. They're amazing.
I just ordered them.
Yeah.
Not signed or anything, but I now will have my own set.
I walk out of the venue with my 4 pickles in a glass jar in a box, and then this shirt, and then I immediately walk into my car, because rightfully so, I expected the show would be kind of brutal, and you don't want to be holding pickles the whole time. So I go out to my car, and Braun is over there. And then, like, right when I'm like walking out to literally from the outside terrace of the Starbar, Bill is walking into the show. Like, I just reached out, shook his hand. I literally said, "Mr. Kelleher, I presume," shook his hand, and then just, I said, "Have a great show tonight." And then I put my pickles in the car, and then immediately it was showtime. I didn't have any merch to hold, so I set myself right up front and center for Palaces. And that turned out to be the best spot in the whole house.
Yeah. Well, real quick, any anecdote that ends with, and then I put my pickles in the car, it's got to be a gem, and was.
Yeah, that's
no
the
exception.
That's the pull quote for the episode.
Big Hairy Elefante! I'm a really lucky guy. I got to borrow the guys in Mastodon to play in my band tonight. Big Hairy Elephant. I'm Big Hairy Elephant. That's me! We're playing a show next week up at the amphitheater. We couldn't play under the name Mastodon, so we fooled you, right?
Radius clause!
Radius clause, yeah. Nerd! Hey, we've always loved you guys, Atlanta. You've been here since day one. We say it over and over. You've always been wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for spending your time and your money coming out of the show tonight. And believe it or not, we love you all. Okay? Come on.
The two guys using pretty sophisticated cameras filming. I wonder if they're gonna put out something.
That was Video Rahim and his crew, and they've worked with Mastodon before. Like Braun's snare drum video, I think, was shot by them. And like the Georgia Aquarium set was shot by them. That's like their video guys. So
that's cool.
It was basically officially recorded.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be a real release, or if it's going to, as in coming out on Reprise Records or whatever, or if it's like going to be like just a, we have this for the archive, but there is a record of that show on film now.
Do you remember any other highlights? Like for me, it was, I thought it would be Mastodon, being around them and whatnot, but it was Palaces.
Same. Palaces blew me the fuck away. And I've never seen them before, and I was just floored, like, immediately from the first note, like, and then Kelly comes up right next to me, just like starts headbanging his whole body. I'm like, yeah. And then I found out after the fact that they're doing a record with Bill. And that's like, an even stronger cosign, but like, I was in love with them from the first moment that I saw. And JB, man, he was hitting the drum so hard that his drum mics were popping off. And I just felt so bad, like, because I'm a musician too, but I didn't really know him yet. So like, I wanted to like run up there and like, help fix, but I'd be that guy who ran on the stage, And eventually Braun's drum tech ended up being that guy and went up there and, fixed the drum mics. But yeah, he was just slamming the skins, man. And yeah, it was that blew me away.
Any other highlights come to mind? I mean, obviously meeting me and hanging out with me.
Oh, of course, man.
I mean, we don't need to say that though.
I also saw this dude. He was wearing a shirt from a band called Clank. which is this old industrial metal band. And like I immediately was like, hey, nice shirt. And he's like, oh, this guy's my friend. I'm going to tell him that you said that. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. You know, and then my high school buddy who I was talking about earlier, he was like, hey, did you see the dude in the Clank shirt? I was like, guess what? He actually knows Darren, you know, like small world, you know. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was incredibly cool. The moment of the evening was Mastodon set, of course.
Yeah.
My favorite / most interesting thing about their set was the fact that, yes, they played Leviathan all the way through, but they changed the order.
Oh, yeah.
What they did is they moved Iron Tusk from song 5 to down to like right before Aqua Dementia. And I'm about to tell you why. Because Mastodon normally does their set lists in order of guitar tunings, so they don't have to change guitars as often. From Blood and Thunder through Island, those are all D songs, but Iron Tusk is drop A, and so is Aqua Dementia. So they moved Iron Tusk so that they could play it going right into Aqua Dementia. Then they went, after Island, they went to Megalodon and Naked Burn, which is also in D. So basically, it's a small club. They didn't have to change guitars nearly as much.
Nerd! You just earned yourself probably 100 DMs from other Masto nerds that were like, I knew it. Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
I was wondering if they would keep that order for the tour, but obviously, like, you know, the tour being the album all the way through, they played the album literally all the way through, you know. But like when you're on stage and you have to change guitars just for one song and then change it back, you know, that slows down the momentum.
That's a great observation. Did you see them then? Maybe you told me this, but I forget. And was it Athens? Wasn't that their first big show with Lamb of God?
In Alpharetta is probably what you're thinking. And that was about a week later.
Did you wear your big hairy elephant shirt?
I did.
Yeah, JB was saying, because I interviewed JB, and then we were talking about the shirts. And I was going to see Mastodon that night in Richmond. And he's like, yeah, wear the shirt. It was really cool because everybody's like, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there. Yep. Of course, in Richmond, Virginia, nobody recognized the shirt.
Yeah, it's one of those if you know, you know kind of things. I saw there was a photographer who was in the photo pit because I happened to be rail for Mastodon. Like literally, here I am again in front of Bill Keller. Like, awesome. I can't believe my luck. But yeah, I saw. So there was like one of the photographers had this shirt on, and there was a few other heads like, you know, with the shirt like that I saw walking through the crowd. But my favorite part of that night was talking to JB before the show started. We had a long conversation right before Malevolence started, and then by then I was, you know, I went back to the pit, and that's, you know, how I ended up at Rail, because once you're there, you just kind of be like, well, I guess I'm here for the rest of the night.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That concludes our show of Where Strives the Behemoth. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. And I thought we'd wrap up talking to Bill Kelleher. Hey, Bill. Hey, what did you think of the show? Did you like it? Oh, that's a relief. Hey, you want to watch it with me again right now? Okay, I understand. Maybe let it marinate for a little while, and then we'll come back to it. So have a great day, guys. Make the most of it, and we'll see you next time.
just wanted to say that I love the Star Bar. I love all you guys, and thank you so much for coming out to the show. And just all our friends and family, you know, all from this area, and just all you fucking goofballs. We love you very much. And thanks to Palaces, our good friends from down the street. And our new friends, who I saw so many penises tonight. I'm so happy. So many different stuff. Usually you just see those real nice ones. Some weird ones up there, which I appreciate. Love you guys so much. And yeah, Wolf Face, our new friends. Okay, let's hear from them. You want a little tickle? A little tickle. All right, I'll be out there to tickle you guys. Let's see you guys in a little beer. Hey!
Nerd!